Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. What a morning for the Georgia Bulldogs on Thursday morning. Not only getting Christian Miller back to this Georgia program heading into 2024, but you also land the commitment from one of the more talented quarterbacks that was available in the transfer portal, probably the most talented quarterback in Jaden Rashada. Now, you talk about Jaden Rashada and say, this just seems like a perfect fit for him to come to Athens going into year two of his college football career, where you look at how his college football career started out, Miami Hurricanes, flipping to Florida, NIL problems, going to Arizona State. That is about as bad of a recipe as you could get as a quarterback starting off your college football career. And I think he got wrapped up in some of the stuff that shouldn't matter that much for college football players. And what better place to go to than an all-business program like this Georgia Bulldogs program? He's going to get a chance to develop. He's going to get a chance to focus on what matters as a quarterback. And I think for the Georgia fans, this is a perfect fit for you as well in terms of you look at the quarterback runway, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit. We have no question marks about who's our starting quarterback in 2024. Kirby Smart's going to treat this quarterback room just like any other room on this football team and say, we want elite competition. We want a lot of guys who are very good to get the best out of each other every single year. And you look at that quarterback room heading into 2025 after this year and say, that's going to be an awfully loaded quarterback room with a lot of competition. We want to talk about Jaden Rashada, talk a little bit about what he brings to this Georgia program, but then more importantly, talk about this quarterback runway that Kirby Smart is trying to kind of get going within this Georgia program. Before we get into it, and as always, just want to say thank you to you guys, the Georgia Bulldog fans. Whether we're talking transfer portal, high school recruiting trail, y'all continue to show a ton of love, a ton of support to the fellas. Can't thank you guys enough. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Much more importantly, would love to hear how the Georgia fans are feeling about this one as well in the comments section. And without further ado, let's get into Jaden Rashada. I want to start with just Jaden Rashada, the quarterback, a guy that wasn't really linked to Georgia during the recruiting cycle out of high school, but a guy that I talked a lot about in terms of being one of the more coveted quarterbacks that was available in that 2023 class. Jaden Rashada is a box checker from a talent standpoint. He's 6'4", he's 190 pounds, has an absolutely massive arm that allows him to make all the throws that you want on the football field, right? He can work the boundary, he can work the deeper third, he can layer the football in there. From a pure arm talent standpoint, Jaden Rashada pretty much checks every single box that you want to see checked. And then you look at the athletic profile, 6'4", very big frame. He's not necessarily a phenomenal athlete, but an athlete that can extend plays and be very he can make stuff happen outside of the pocket. We'll say that. I'm not putting him up there with Lamar Jackson, but he's certainly not a statue in the pocket either. Can extend plays, keep his eyes downfield. You go through the checklist of what you want in a quarterback with the upside that Jaden Rashada has and say, yeah, he's checking just about every single box that you want. And I think why so many as just a college football fan, looking at this situation and saying, super talented quarterback that kind of got wrapped up in the wrong stuff during his first year of college football. Georgia Bulldogs program that's all business, that always develops their players to the best of their ability. This is a perfect fit. And I think what's exciting for the Georgia fans the most is if Jaden Rashada reaches his potential, this is a quarterback that can be extremely dangerous, not only at the college level, but at the NFL level as well. And I think what's exciting is you take a look at this quarterback room for this Georgia program and say, all right, 2024, Carson Beck, he's our guy. I think Kirby Smart wanted a fourth scholarship quarterback on this roster heading into 2024. You certainly did that. You got Beck, Stockton, Puggs, and now Jaden Rashada. But you also didn't land a quarterback in the 2023 class, right? You had Stockton in the 2022 class, Puggs in the 2024 class. This kind of gets that quarterback runway back on track. And you look at the 2025 year and say, all right, we got Gunnar Stockton, Ryan Puglisi, Jaden Rashada battling it out for a starting quarterback spot in 2025. Any way you slice it, that is going to be a very competitive quarterback competition. And whoever wins that job is going to be a damn good quarterback and win a lot of football games for Georgia in 2025. Then you fast forward to 2026 and say, all right, Gunnar Stockton might not be there, but you're going to have Jaden Rashada Ryan Puglisi, Ryan Montgomery, Jerry Curtis as a true freshman. Kirby Smart is treating the quarterback room exactly like he treats any other room on this college football team. And yeah, you're going to get some guys that transfer out because they just can't crack it at this Georgia program. You wish them the best wherever they go, but you look at the linebacker room, probably 7 linebackers that are going to be playing in the NFL in a couple of years. You look at the offensive line. They just added I believe 6 offensive linemen in the 2024 class to what was already one of the best offensive line units in the country. We all know what they do on the defensive line. Kirby Smart treats every position the same. And so, yeah, are you worried about maybe losing a quarterback, bringing in Jaden Rashada? Yeah, maybe, but you know this quarterback room significantly gets better, and I would argue that the quarterback room is probably the most important position room to have depth and competition. If there's one position that you don't want to mess around with in terms of talent and depth, is the quarterback spot. You need a good quarterback to go win a national championship at college football level. You look at what Georgia has, not only in 2024 where Carson Beck's the guy, but you start looking at 2025, 2026 and say the quarterback play is going to be pretty damn good for the Georgia Bulldogs over the next couple of years. Y'all want to know the secret. The Georgia fans know the secret. Most of the Georgia fans listening to this, but is there any other college football fans listening to this? Y'all want to know the secret to Kirby Smart's success. It is not just playing the transfer portal, the recruiting trail for 1 year. It's thinking about, hey, we are competing for national championship every single year we step out on the field. There's no rebuild year for this Georgia program. How do you avoid the rebuild years? That's what you do. You land a guy like Jaden Rashada, who you say you come into this program, you get developed, you'll be that guy somewhat down the road. Love this fit. Think it's a perfect fit. Super talented quarterback. Really, really excited for the Georgia Bulldogs. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. Again, if y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later.